What up, y'all? I wanted to come at you about the fuel matrix and the hierarchy of the fuel matrix. Um, when you are the primary source of supply, you are at the height or the center of the fuel matrix. And then there is secondary and tertiary. And so when the narcissist gets the primary source of supply, that's the one that they have to manipulate the most. They have to, usually these are definitely the ones that grew up in a narcissistic family, because that's how you get the most potent empaths. The ones that are either into, that have fallen into the trap of people pleasing, or into, having these boundaries that are low, slim to none sometimes. But they generally have a big heart, and they have been maladaptive in a benevolent way, whereas the narcissist has grown up in the same family, but they have grown up in a benevolent way, to where they were complete takers and we have been complete givers until we wake up to this and know that we have been walking down a pathway that's been maladaptive for so long, and it has not been working for us. And so what ends up happening is we change our ways. Sometimes we have a spiritual awakening, which has been happening to a lot of us, especially here lately. So praise God for that, right? Because this is something that's new. This is kind of like new in this world. God allows things to be locked up for a time, and as we get to the further end of time here, he's allowing new tools to be opened up out of the toolbox, okay? And he's giving you more power. In that power, maybe the empaths have been walking around weak and emaciated for a long time, but now he's given us the opportunity to wake up. So we have to look at this time, this era, and the place that we are in today as a blessing from God, that, we didn't grow up, say, 100 years ago, where there was no internet and there was no opportunity to know about narcissism. We could have been caught up in these families and this life living like this, unbeknownst to us, for years and years and years, not knowing. But because we were able to be born into this era by God's grace, he has given us the opportunity with the internet and with the information age that we have, that we're able to wake up to this. So I just wanted to say that, because you can't put new wine into old wineskins, right? Isn't that what they say? Because it would make it burst, right? But this is the thing, it would also talk about in the Bible where, kind of like how when Jesus turned water into wine, what did that master say, or whatever he said, that at the wedding, he said that, normally, generally speaking, that, the person that prepares the wedding would have the best wine first, so that the old wine would be used last. But in the case of this individual, he saved the best wine for last. Well, what happens is when wine, the longer that wine is preserved, the better wine gets, the more tasty it is, and the more potent it is in its alcohol. And so I guess my point to all this is that we are the best wine. If we are the last generation and God saved, he didn't use the best wine. He used the best wine last. He didn't use the best wine first. He saved the best wine for last. We are his chosen people. And so he preserved his best wine for last, his most potent wine for last, and you are amongst that potency. But the getting back to the topic of discussion, the primary source of supply is going to be the most potent in potency, in the way that it is given, the love and the care, the amount and the frequency. The secondary and tertiary just cannot do that, and they cannot be put under that type of control. They have to really be seduced. See, the enemy knew that we were going to come out and we were going to be born into these detrimental families, these families that were going to be trying to curse us all the time, but God preserved us. God knew where we were going to come from. He knew what pain we were going to go through, and he was going to preserve us, and he was going to awaken us at a time where we need to be most potent. Okay? And we're in the last days, we all know that. I'm telling you, we are beyond the millennial kingdom, that we are the short time thereafter. Whether you want to believe that or not, doesn't matter. You're here. And you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, and for a purpose. And God knew your heart, and he knows who you are innately. And because you have woke and you are awake to these things, and you are in this era, has nothing to do with anything except for that you are at a certain potency and strength, and that that he decided to put you here because you deserve to be here, and only because of his grace. Now, the secondary source of supply is going to be just the one that they're going to hang out with from time to time. They're going to see them once in a while. They usually don't get devalued and discarded. They're usually in a kind of like a golden type period, kind of similar to like a love bomb phase all the time, because they don't ever get tired out or wore out with, to where they're going to get to a place to where the narcissist is going to get tired of them. So what's also going to not going to happen is they're not going to get discarded a lot. They're not going to go through a lot of those places in time with the narcissist like the primary will. The primary is going to get tired. The primary is going to feel like they need more. They deserve more. They've given up everything. And so the secondary is never going to feel that way. So the secondary is never really going to leave unless for some reason they move on because they decide to, and other reasons. But most of the time they're not concerned whether they're cheating on somebody or not, if they have somebody in their life. A lot of times they know that the narcissist is with somebody at this point in time. They don't care. They're okay with this type of relationship most of the time. Where they do probably start to care is if it gets to where their partner starts to catch on and gets in the way of their life, and starts to mess up their life because they're stalking them and that sort of thing, and threatening. And it can get violent that way. Also, it could get to a point to where the narcissist has been future faked them for so long that they get tired of that. And then they have the tertiary supplies, which are, the here and there supplies, which they have a lot of those. The ones that are full to them for any reason. And those, generally speaking, are there all the time as well. And they may come and go based on, what the narcissist is doing at the time, or what they're doing at the time in life. But as far as the primary source supply, they're going to get, they have to get seduced for them to be able to give that amount of love and empathy, and to get caught up in that situation. They have to get, seduced by, the sex and manipulation, and they're going to be the one that the narcissist has chosen for them, because they're going to be the intimate partner, supply number one, and they're going to be with them, most generally speaking, at all times. It's also good if the narcissist can not only find a source of supply that they, as a primary, that gives them that kind of energy and potency, but is able to be controlled. but also is good looking. They usually pick somebody that is like a Phil, I think it is the acronym, which is somebody who is somebody who is they're a protector, they're a helper, they have integrity, and they are a true lover of that of the narcissist. And so that's where Phil comes in. That's what they like to have. So they want somebody that is going to be a man or a woman of their word, somebody who's going to take care of the house and the home and the children, because they want to be able to focus on their supply cases and themselves. They don't have time for that. A lot of times they can be very messy and disorderly. So if you're orderly, they like an orderly person. They like a person with good looks, if they can get that, and somebody that gives them all of that high potency of love and affection, and somebody who's successful. But it's also good if they can find somebody that has similar chemistry to them, which they don't find a whole lot. But if they can find that as well, somebody that they actually like to be around most of the time, with the little bit of information that they do give out, it's hard for them a lot of times to have some sort of a symbiotic relationship. But if they can find that as well, then that just is like the cherry on top. And so a lot of times, they want you to fall into place and to do as you're told and that sort of thing. They do like for you to be imprisoned. So once they seduce you, they will separate you. They want to keep you away from other influences and friends and stuff, and they want to be able to get you separated and then imprisoned in, from work to home and that sort of thing. That way they can keep you down and keep you from being influenced by others, and and then whenever they do devalue and discard you, they do it the worst to you, because you're the one that they need the most. You're the one that's most important. You are the gold. You're the bag of gold. So if they devalue and discard you, say you're out of energy and that sort of thing, or you're not acting right, then they need to do this. But when they do this, they need to knock you down so bad that you just have, you don't feel like you're worth anything. So you'll be down in the dumps until they come back to recover you. And generally speaking, that's kind of how the field matrix is. And when you are giving them a high potency of love and affection and everything is going right, and you get them well in tune to what it does is it increases their pompous attitude. It increases them, and it makes them fully fit in who they are. See, they won't have to look into themselves because you are pumping them up. And when you pump them up, they also take like your gifts and they wear them. It's kind of like your pieces of your chemistry. They like your attributes and they'll steal those from you. They'll emulate those. And somebody put it as a broken mirror, that they take pieces of people and they take them and make them theirs. And that when they're injured, those pieces of the mirror kind of like they're starting to show. But when they're totally full on, your fuel that you're giving them, that all those pieces are in tune and they're able to stand up with all of those different attributes and make them their own in a real way, to where they are they'll be able to walk in that stature. And a lot of times when you're with them for a long time, you build them up and you make them feel like they're impenetrable until they get to a place where they're injured. See, they don't want to go inside, so they need that high potent energy, because when they deal with emptiness that any of us have dealt with, theirs is 10 times worse, 100 times worse. And when they get low on fuel, that abyss inside them starts to call out to them and talk back to them in such negative ways that it's hell itself is what they're dealing with inside themselves. And the only thing that distracts them is your fuel, because your fuel is good and it's loving and it's kind and it's from God. That's the only thing good in them, is your fuel that runs through them. And when your fuel is absent, then they are absent of all love, because the only love that they get running through them is what they steal from you. So give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and a subscription. I love y'all. Stand tall, soldier. Peace out. Love y'all. Peace.